Hey guys, not sure if you're aware of it, but the health minister for Iran has taken illness. He's taken ill. He said originally that he was not sick. He was clearly coughing at the conference the other day, and I think now it's been unequivocally shown he is sick. Okay. I got a magnet on the bottom of my phone, so it does that. I'm sorry. This is one of those diseases that's almost like once in 100 years, or once in 200 years, I guess. People are falling like dominoes. And when you have high-level people like this getting sick, falling out, this is serious business. One thing I will always tell you guys with survivalism, and I make this point very clear, with any scenario you make, any scenario, I don't care what scenario you make, you should always, and I am always questioning, what are the sheeple doing now and how will they respond? Always. It needs to be one of your questions. There's a lot of people right now who are not paying attention and who don't care. My father is one of them. And I spoke about this before, I think, with you guys, and that to me that's that victimhood mentality. And he asked me, he said, has the government declared a state of emergency? And I'm sitting up here like, I'm really kind of shocked. It's kind of like when someone asks you, you respect them, asks you to commit a crime, and you're shocked. You're like, this person is really asking me to do something unethical. And you're thinking that they would never ask you that. And here they are in front of you. That's how it was. But that's my dad's nature. See, my dad has lived in the hood. He's lived around violence and crime for so long. He's accepted it. That to him, as long as it's not being done directly to him or someone he knows, he's okay with it. I don't hear gunshots out of it every night, thankfully. Thank to God. Knock on wood. I don't have problems like that out here. I don't have people doing stuff like that out here. Thank God. And I hope I never do. But I understand that could happen. And I carry when I'm out here a lot of times at night. I'm ready. But I also understand the terrific responsibility behind carrying a gun and all that kind of stuff. Same thing with preparedness. I cannot respect anybody who is really going to sit there and wait for Donald Trump or someone to tell them that, oh, this thing is serious. It seems like all Donald Trump's talking about, and my father as well, is that springtime is coming. I cannot believe that they expect this to just go away because the temperatures warm up. Crazy as hell, believe that. Even if it does, it could come back. But my thing, like I said, going back to my things remain the same. This is the mentality of someone who has no power. My dad was smarter than that. But that's big in the black community. That's a big, I'm sure other groups are like that too, but the black community is really like that. Just people they may know certain things, but they're going to wait. And even folks that have money, they could do something about it. They'd rather go out and buy stuff that's of no use to show off. That's a part of the black community. What can I say? That's real. I'm not proud of that. It's really shameful. We make our money, and our whole thing is to show off to society. Look at what we've got. Look what we got. To me, we're living in a society breaking down. Someone I look at, Pre-Prosperity, made a comment about how they're not calling this a pandemic. And I that's something a lot of white guys do. They make these little snarky remarks about how, liberals, we don't want to say what's what. We don't want to call a hole and a spade. That's not it. And I'm gonna call that out. I should have called that out first. The reason why they don't want to call it a pandemic, they don't want to cause a panic. And that's because of capitalism. That's because of the money in the markets. And that's because of the world economies. It has nothing to do with political correctness. So stop that bullshit. He's smarter than that. I know he is. But that's what white folks do. They're always trying to get in a little wink. That's what they do. I mean, this is a global emergency, and you're trying to make political comments like that. I think that's crazy. Well, guess what, Peak Prosperity? I can make political comments too. Trump and Rush Limbaugh are saying that this is the common cold. People are dying all over the world. This thing is spreading. You have people in the UN, the Iranian government getting sick. You have countries not taking this seriously. You have China lying. No one takes their numbers seriously. And you're calling it common cold. But you know what? I had to think about that. I had to think about that for a minute. And you know what? This is another example. This is another example of conservatives doing what they do. And we have to understand what they're saying, we have to use their unit of measurement. Now, if you're a redneck, if you're a nativist, and you think America is the only country in the world and only America matters, then that's how you're going to see the world, right? So you don't care if 100,000 people die in China. You don't care if twice that is in hospitals right now. You don't care. I mean, the only thing you care about is maybe using some of that to, communism, not realizing that that's a joke. That's not really what's going on here. But if that's what you are, if you're a nativist, if you're a Trumper and you're just like, well, America's great, the world's great, everything's never been greater. If you think like that, then you're not gonna get it. And you're gonna sit there and you're gonna say, all this destruction all over the world, we're getting sick all over the world, and your response to that is, oh well, it's the common cold. It's amazing to me to watch the roles change in America. That once, that's something I thought liberals only did. I'm talking about establishment liberals. I thought only they did that, which is downplay things. And we had the director of the CDC on MSNBC talking about how, that's reckless. That's not what he's saying. That's not what we're saying at all. That this thing is very serious. And that he acknowledges it to be very serious. And you've got Rush Limbaugh talking about how it's the common cold. Survivalists are normally thought of as conservatives, normally. So it is really shocking to see people do something so irresponsible as to downplay a pandemic as just the common cold. I just, once again, I have to say, it's hard for me to understand the recklessness. It's hard for me to understand, people who say things like that and put their own folks in danger, because if that pandemic, it's already made over here. If it makes it bigger, the major cities and all that stuff, then, this is why I say I'm a global citizen. Because people dying in China and all these countries, it can affect me. And if a Chinaman learns something about how to cure the virus or mitigate the risk to populated areas, then I'm all ears. And I think a lot of folks out here would love to hear it. We wouldn't be, oh no, because you're a Chinaman. Only rednecks think like this. We need to come together as a world to deal with this pandemic responsibly and as adults to prevent further unnecessary loss of life. Maybe this leaked from one of those biolabs in China. I don't know. I mean, that's a discussion. I was thinking about it in the shower a minute ago. That's a discussion right there of we've been at war as a human race for so long that the odds were eventually something would leak out. That's the odds. I hate to say it. This was, hey, your odds came up. It's like a dude keep breaking the law, robbing banks and stuff. Hey, the odds are eventually you get caught. Like a rapist or a killer, the odds are you get caught, you get sloppy, and that's what's happened. And now we are all in danger. Now, as Putin said it before, the sword of Damocles hangs over the head of every man, woman, and child. He was talking about nukes when he made that speech, but I think that in the era we live in now, that goes for all people when it comes to these weapons of war. Pray for me and I'll pray for you. These are dangerous times. I don't care what God you believe in. I don't care about your nationality. We are all in danger. We have societies being run by morons. We have societies being run by despots. We have societies being run by people who, I guess, want the end of the world. That's what I keep thinking. These Christians, they think that this end. See, they kind of have this doomsday fetish. They do, and so not putting Obama up here as he was perfect, but they saw Obama as a globalist president. See, it's almost like for some of these doomsday Christians, we're not supposed to fix society. Like, we're just supposed to live. It's almost like to them, Earth is just like this big waiting room. Yeah. And so you can piss all over the place and tear it up because we're all going to die one day anyway, right? So nothing matters. And it's really almost like that. That's how they think. That's how they see the world. And so when Obama was talking about making peace and all this, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? All this weakness. Because they love war. They love war. They want war. They've been lied to. They don't even care about that. That's the Christian cult. I'm not saying Christianity is a cult, but that's that aspect of Christianity that's a cult. They want the world to end. They want the world to come to an end. They want destruction. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not rational. And that's another part of why you can't really reason with the Trump supporters at this point. You can't. I'm sorry, guys. You just can't. And if you're trying to, you're wasting your time. You can't reason with them because they're already gone. I used to read 1984. That's Christians. That's Christians now. Black and white. Here they are, supposed to be children of God, following the scriptures, following God's word. But then they'll turn around and all the stuff Trump does, oh, well, he's just defending it. I mean, I feel almost like, not the Jews, but I feel almost like people years ago did look at the Nazis and causing all these atrocities and all the craziness Hitler did, back then. And people, they said that they knew that this was a great shame for Germany. It was a great shame because they knew they had known Germans. They had known people from Germany. And they were like, why are you guys behaving like this? And it is a shame. It was and it is a great shame on their nation. And it remains a great shame on their nation. Put this grapefruit in my blender. See how it works out. Probably going to be nasty, but I meant to eat it all up, but I didn't. It's an acquired taste. I bought these instead of oranges. Oh, shit. Put some honey in this mug while I'm thinking about it. Put some honey in this mug. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's almost how I feel. When you see Franklin Graham talking about different things about Trump, and I mean, it's really disgusting. It's something I've said for a while. America is not special. America is not special in any way, none whatsoever. We very easily could slip down the path of fascism just like anybody else. Thanks for listening.